Hello everybody, we need to talk about retards again. So we've had a pretty good run. We had Pete retarding away for a while, but he seems to have retarded off. But then we got two new retards that have joined. So we've got, I think it's James Whelan, something like that. And then we've got, it sounds transsexual to me. It's like the typical, you know, when trannies have like, obviously a cartoon avatar because they can't show their horrendous trannified face. And then they have something like really, it's either really, well, it's usually really feminine, it can also be really masculine, obviously to reflect the distortion of their nature. And so this one is something like feline cutie princess or something like that. I mean, just, you know, you just know that this person is going to look like a fucking ogre. But yeah, just really interesting. I just find, you know, psychologically, I find analysing retards really, really fucking interesting. So James Whelan's big one, this is all he's got. He'll watch, you know, 30 minutes, 40 minutes, 60 minutes of my videos. And every time he'll just comment, you need to learn the language. Or locals appreciate it when you learn the language. Now do they? That's my question, first of all. I mean, we'll analyse James's, I think it's James's, something Whelan. We'll analyse his retardation later. But first of all, I think that, now, I'm not sure I really want to walk down here. It could be full of ticks and all sorts, and snakes. Yeah, we're a bit off the beat. I vacated back to the safety of the forest. A bit cooler up here. So yeah, there's loads of angles for this. There's like James's projection, James's need to be a hater, James's need to jump on this one little thing, rather than, you know, because I think what's happening there, we'll go into how true or not the whole language thing is in a minute, but I think what's happening there is you've got somebody who's seriously suffering from conditioning, what I call retardation, and I'm dropping in my videos. I don't know if you've realised, guys, but it's not really a travel channel. I'm trying to wake you all up, and I entice retards like James in with travel. I think James is overprepared. I think he's just a hater. So all he knows is hatred, because it's the only way he can keep denying the obvious reality of life that's all in front of him, which would make his fragile reality, his fragile conditioned world that he's created, completely crumble. So he's had to go to that level of resistance where you just become hateful and you become a hater and you start hate watching. I think he's actually in that category. But then there's a category that's slightly above, like the standard hater. So what they're doing is, so yeah, I'm dropping wisdom in my videos all the time. I'm dropping, you know, deliberately triggering things. Oh yeah, so that was a good example. In the last video I put me watching a video of how to record an omelette. And obviously the retards have jumped all over that because it's something they have. So they can't, you know, when I'm my usual just conscious flow, I mean that just goes above their heads. They can't really say anything to that. They can't really respond to that. All they can do is judge things from a way they've been conditioned. So that's knowledge based. So they think that intelligence is based on regurgitating information. So it's a typical person that's been to university, has been told they're intelligent, has been given some letters, they might have PhD or some letters like that. But all they've learned to do is regurgitate what other people have said. You know, just like Christians and any religion, you know, it's just regurgitating what you're told. It's not from like lived life experience. Gosh, I'm not flowing today at all. Let's try again. Yeah, so the omelette thing. So I mean, so I put in there that I don't know how to cut an omelette, and I show that. You know, so there's two things to that. So the haters jump on that because it's knowledge based. They can understand that. They can be like, I know how to cook an omelette, therefore I'm better. You know, so external. So I mean, even James Dandy's getting involved in it. He's really shown himself up recently as quite the pleb, because he's, you know, he's in many ways he's pretty enlightened, but yeah, still very external. So there's the fact that I put that in there myself. So you're gonna judge me and ridicule me for something that I've happily shown you all, and I know exactly what's going to happen when I do that. In fact, I think it's why I do that. You know, because for me it's really important to pull my pants down on camera, to be the retard on camera, to show that I don't think I'm anything special. Like I have focused very much on consciousness, on self-work, on self-observation, on shadow work, on the enlightenment journey. I haven't focused on the fucking external plebby stuff at all. And of course, I have my shadows and my retardation. I was smothered as a child. I was brought up by an over-doting mother. So I don't know how to do anything. Everything was done for me. Yeah, that's the reality, and I'm going to show that reality. But it's so funny how the retards will always jump on the most basic shit to criticise, because that's all they know, because their mind is very basic. All right, let's try and go back to James Thorpe language. Right, so first question, do people in Southeast Asia, or specifically Vietnam, but you know, you could just say Southeast Asia, do they appreciate you speaking their language? So this is usually a comment that's left by somebody who's never left Europe. Very rarely is it left by somebody who's actually experienced this life. And you know, I don't mean 2 weeks in fucking Phuket. You know, it's taken me, I've been living out here 18 months, and I'm still not totally sure to the answer to this question. But what I mean, so first of all, you've got to acknowledge, this isn't fucking going to Spain and learning fucking gracias. You know, this isn't, this is a different language. Sorry, this is a different alphabet, a completely different alphabet. And on top of that, they've got all, well, certainly in Thailand, and I think it's probably the same here, you know, a different word, one word can mean 9 different things based on how you pronounce it. The haters are going to love that one too. Oh, he's such a he doesn't know how to say pronounce. I forget all the fucking wise shit he says that goes way over my head. But oh, he said this word wrong. It's just like, and you can see how because I am shaking their foundations, you know, I am shaking their cognitive dissonance. So the typical retard will rather reinforce the cognitive dissonance, find a reason to make me wrong so that they're right, rather than wake up to what a fucking retard they are. So, unless you completely dedicate yourself to learning a language, now bearing in mind, the video that they're watching, okay, I am back in Vietnam now, but the video they're watching, at the time that I posted that, I didn't think I'd ever really come back to Vietnam, or certainly not for a long time. I was thinking I've got 44 days in Vietnam, so am I going to spend time learning another alphabet and another language? I mean, it's just fucking ridiculous. And then you've got like, is there any point? So now I'm back in Vietnam and I've learned how to say thank you, gammon. But it's definitely not pronounced like that. But I can't pronounce it like you're meant to pronounce it. Do you know what happens when I say gammon? They start laughing. They just start laughing at me. They definitely don't appreciate it. If anything, it's fucking insulting. I mean, it's not because they're chilled out and they live and let live, but they're not, if you go up there and just say hi, point, thank you, they're not fucking crying themselves to sleep. You know, they really don't give a fuck. So I think this, like, they appreciate it if you learn some of their words. Like, yeah, of course, like, I mean, it's like, it's putting everyone in the same box as well. Like, you know, life is nuanced and varied. Like, yeah, some of them will really appreciate it for sure. And it's definitely worth learning hello and thank you, of course. But beyond that, I'm not sure that many of them do. I think they find it frustrating. You say everything wrong. It's no better. You know, I mean, at the end of the day, we're trying to get a transaction done here. That's the only time I'm going to interact with a local, you know. And that's, yeah, we should get into that as well. That will really trigger retards. But the only time I'm going to interact with a local is when I'm doing a sales transaction. And that can all be done through pointing and calculators to show the money, or even just showing the notes, you know. And it's so much better than me pronouncing words wrong and, you know, everyone just getting frustrated and confused. And yeah, it's just fucking, it's such a ridiculous projection from a retard that's never actually experienced this life. Now, don't get me wrong, those who do dedicate themselves to learning the language, like when I was in Thailand, I had, you know, because I thought I was going to live there forever, I had vague ambitions to learn the language, and when I saw a Westerner who could speak Thai fluently, like I was in all of them, like, it's a fantastic thing to do, of course, but it's beyond me. I can't fucking speak languages. When I was in school, I got kicked out of French. Like, I have a real aversion to, I think, is it left-brained? I forget which way around it is. But basically, I'm very scientific, very mathematical. not fucking arty, not language. Like, that's just not how my brain works. I honestly don't think it would be possible for me to learn a Southeast Asian language. But if you know, it was a life or death thing, and I had to, you know, I would have to dedicate every fucking bit of energy to it. And then you all wouldn't get my wisdom and all my conscious revelations. So what's more important? You know, I'm only interested in awakening. I'm only interested in consciousness. I'm not really interested in things of this 3D realm. Like, I've done all that, I think, in previous lives. I mean, who knows if that's even true, but it just doesn't call to me. Like, learning things of this realm, I feel like I've done it 1,000 times over. It's like, you know, the same people that make these fucking, oh, you should learn language, are the same people that would go into a bar and socialize and think that that's a productive use of their time, you know, who would value, like, oh, I spoke to this, well, obviously they won't call me a retard, they'd call me a person. I spoke to this person yesterday and we had this conversation in a bar. Like, you know, like, this 3D shit is just not in my perspective at all. And then that gets on to a further point. So these people value noise and distraction, socialization, friends, validation. You know, they're so broken inside, they're always seeking externally for validation. So they would say things like, you need to get to know the locals, you need to learn the culture of, I'm not interested. And that's not a Southeast Asian thing, that's just a people thing, that's a being conscious thing. Every single guru, you know, you look at Osho, you look at any of them, they all end up isolating. And I'm not saying I'm on their level, but I'm conscious enough to want to isolate from the masses, because the masses are fucking stupid. The masses leave comments like this. So I've no, like, if I'm in England, I've no interest in talking to anyone. Like, no one can offer me anything. There's the odd fucking guru who isolates himself from society, who can offer me something, who I can learn from. The very odd person. Obviously, like, I can receive reflections and I can learn about retardation and psychology in your standard pleb. But, you know, I've been doing that for years. So I, you know, if I was in England, I wouldn't be interested in speaking to any of the locals, or, you know, it's all retardation. It's all fucking spastication playing out. I'm done with it. So of course I'm not going to be interested in foreign locals, because then it's no different. Like, yeah, okay, the culture's different. Yeah, okay, they can show me something about the food or whatever. But again, it's 3D bullshit. It's external bullshit. It's not what gets me going. You know, all that gets me going is psychology, the internal journey, what people refer to as spirituality, enlightenment. You know, for me, it's actually just taking off the masks of retardation. Like, can we remove more masks, more masks, more masks? That's all I'm interested in. And even that is getting boring for me now. You know, like, I've been focusing on that for fucking 10 years non-stop. Like, you know, it's the one thing that is still of some interest, basically. But, you know, people, this world, the external reality. You know, when you're conscious, you have no idea how difficult it is to live in such an unconscious world. Right? It's very taxing. So the last thing you want to do is immerse yourself in that and learn a language so you can immerse yourself in it more. Like, no, I'm all about isolating and putting in the barriers and the boundaries. Like, the last thing I want to do is bring in more external fucking mass hive mind. And then I can't even remember any of the feline, cutie, princess, tranny retard comments, but they're literally like the typical hater comments, like, so external, so 3D. He can't even cut it on the, like, it's literally like everything is just a fucking projection, like, literally twisting everything I do, and just showing this, like, hateful, horrible energy of just wanting to do down. And many people will say that's what I do, but it's not. I'm actually wanting to bring you up. You know, I'm using the mirror of retard reflection for the few. You know, so I appreciate between 90 and 99% of the people watching this video aren't ready for what I'm speaking of now. And therefore they will just project and blah, blah, blah. But I'm not here for them. You know, like, I could, if I was still more of the ego myself, more 3D myself, more manipulative myself, then, you know, I know how I could create this content to not offend anyone, and it would get way more views, like every other travel vlogger, except maybe Small Brain Podcast. Like, every other travel vlogger doesn't say anything controversial, and they get way more views. Like, I know that. But I also know that it wouldn't be aligned for me. It wouldn't leave me feeling any sort of excitement or joy. You know, like I'm here to shake cages. I'm here to shake egos. Like, I haven't come here to just reinforce all the bullshit and the lies. You know, I've come here to show it up just through my life and the way I live. So my service to the 1 to 10%, however much it is so much stronger than my service to self. You know, it's essentially, are you in service to self or are you in service to others? And these, you know, it's amazing. Like, so the feline retard tranny, she'll make out, she, he, it, whatever, will make out in its comments, you know, that I'm some sort of horrible guy, that I'm so, you know, because I'm making them question everything about themselves, and especially if they really are a tranny, like, you know, they're literally the most fucked person in the world, that is literally displaying the demonic self-hatred. Probably not a tranny, just probably got a very fucking stupid, self-obsessed fucking feminist name. But, you know, you can just tell by their comments that this is like one of the most retarded and therefore one of the most hateful. Like, she's trying to make out that I'm the hateful one, yet her comments are nothing but hate and bile, you know. And if you are the sort of person, you know, I mean, it takes a lot to go on camera. Like, you might think that because you're fucking retarded and projecting, you might think that I'm hateful. But, you know, the barriers that I've had to overcome to even be able to do this, that most people, you know, most people can't even show a fucking profile pic on their comments. You know, they're commenting from some fake profile. So, you know, the amount of leaning in and self-work and all this journey that I've had to go through to get to a point where I can show you on camera that I don't know how to cook an omelette. Like, these people have no idea. They can't even show their fucking face. Yet they're the ones judging the person who's done a shitload of self-work and is actually putting himself out there and actually challenging norms and, like, trying to help people to help themselves to create a better world for us all. Like, I mean, it's so backward. It's so fucking backward. And yet these are the people that they can pretend to be empathetic because, you know, they'll say the right things. I mean, Feline doesn't even do that. It's just pure hatred. But, you know, she will be the sort of person that's like pro-NHS, believes in climate change, equality. You know, it all sounds so fucking good because that's all they care about is sounding good. They don't actually care about the truth. They're just like, how can I be accepted? How can I be accepted? Because they're so broken inside. You know, they're so self-hating inside. How can I get some validation from this external world? Well, obviously, I'll just go with the masses. I'll just say what everyone else is fucking saying. And then I'll criticize anyone that doesn't do that. Oh, these people are so fucking boring. So in conclusion, I'm not going to be learning any languages anywhere I go. No, I'm going to keep focusing on what I'm here to do. Shake your fucking foundations, you retarded cunt. So that's what I'll be focusing on. If you want to go and learn some languages, that's absolutely fine. But yeah, I don't see any gain for myself or the other at all.